That's what they're lacking. They're not showing the opposing teams that any respect that they need to be changing things.
And this is actually a nice situation for a while.
I don't know if we'll see the same bans up against Wildcard. I would expect not, although they do start the same with the Blackbeard. Castle. And we will get the Brava ban.
Ever so gently, and if he goes sight unseen towards the top of White Stairs, he might be able to take care of Spoit. His attention's over towards Rexen. Spoit does not take the engagement. What a great opportunity by Baby Shark. It looked like it was Dash, but Dash was dead. It was the player cam. I got thrown off. Baby Shark's going to continue his rampage, by the way, leaving Ambi and Surf as the last two standing. Ambi has been a terrific addition to this team ever since joining. When they were
Sure, they'll be ready for it on the side of Wildcard. I don't know if they have drones back here. They actually do have a drone on Cocktail, so they'll see it and they'll go for the swing, but lose the fight anyway. Still now 2-on-2.
Ambi looking for more. Bay had very little that was left. Kansan and Spiker, not the case, both at full HP. Surf has the cross, and they might be so focused on Ambi that he can take full advantage of this. Not if he misses his shots. Kansan does. Down in that will not qualify for playoffs right now in 7th place. They'll get the first pick, though, of this round. Down goes Canadian. Spoit will eliminate Bay. They trade right back. A little bit of damage earlier. Now it's Baby Shark taking some from the fire created by the Goyo shield canister of Ambi. Now finished off as Dash goes in for a swing. Suffering through that goo mine as Spoit.
So they need a long angle on the entry.
And then they go off to the races as Spiker, whose name we have not set up to this point, will get Diffuser to the halfway point. Wildcard sweeping through Shopify.
Where he's at, there's a player all the way at the top of Red Stairs. It's Dash with some good angles. Also hunting for Surf. Not that he finds it yet. 30 seconds. They got to get a move on, and that's a big pick for Rexen.
That's a huge one. Another name that we really haven't said very much. It's been very lopsided in favor of Wildcard, and really only 2 players that have been on the tip of our tongues, both of whom are still alive. Again, going back to Baby Shark and Kansan. No shortage of great aimers on both sides of the coin, as now Canadian has to entertain one of those Wildcard players on Red Stairs, and he's got a bullet hose, but he can't do much with any of that ammunition. Down goes Kansan. It's Bay and Spiker last alive, but nobody
Trained despite that hatch getting opened up earlier from Wildcard. So caught off a little bit. They will take out the Maestro.
Bay, who guns down Spoit, and a bad start for the superstar picked up by the Rebellion. A 4-4, though, with a minute to go. Is Surf now inside a back bar. Sprays out, hits Baby Shark. And now it's Ambi's turn to try and find somebody over towards the entry. That's top of Red Stairs. Surf will need some support, as all he's got in front of him is a deployable shield, and he is under heavy watch by Wildcard.
Bay's got a nade. It'd be really nice to clear their shield. It would make a huge difference, but even if he tosses it, there's magnets in the way, so it's not going to be simple. Surf in a power position that will be protected, and he's doing so much, but he's shot in the head. That's one way to clear it out. Now we can see the push from Wildcard.
Just waiting ever so patiently. Ambi now springing out with 4 kills, looking for a 5th. He'll have to worry about back bar. Finishes off what remains of Bay. Cannot outduel Spiker. Spiker and Kansan last 2 standing. Canadian still searching for his first kill. He's got Rexen with 4 kills to his name, not far off. Spiker at the halfway point. Diffuser will go, but it is not close. Spiker instead going by the bomb chassis, and Shopify Rebellion in a tricky spot. They will need to go for the rotate from the backside of this bomb site over towards Piano. Canadian looking up. Kansan is way too far down. And Rexen, who was on that middle floor, will now have the most damning job possible, which is ascend the stairs. Wildcard know exactly where he's coming from. Mira is not a discreet operator, and he'll take some damage looking for a fight of his own. He'll find it with Spiker, and it sets him and Kansan, former teammates, into a 1v1 that... However, it is a recruit taken out, so some utility is gone. Now Spiker will be punished as well, and that's the case as Surf reads into that one, and he'll try to get back to safety through delivery as quickly as he can. He manages to pull it off. The 3 remaining players from Wildcard not really in a position to shut him down, as Kansan suffers quite a lot of blows, and Rebellion looking to close this one out in this round. Down goes Bay, and it's only 2 that remain. Again, Baby Shark and Kansan combined for quite an impressive tally. Baby Shark is a little exposed from that spot. He can get killed from the top floor. So, I mean, I guess he felt pretty confident about it. And he takes some damage from the barbed wire before assessing his options. Final 30 seconds. And he sees smoke denying him entry to that reading door. 2 canisters in back pocket for Canadian, but Baby Shark will be no more at the hands of Spoit and Ambi. Canadian struggles through this stage have been, unfortunately, very pronounced. He didn't have a single kill in the very first play day, if you'd recall, and now is still searching for his first kill as Rexon finds 2 and is immediately traded off by Baby Shark. Ambi also dies to Spiker. This is a rush strat. 4 players dead in 45 seconds. Canister actually bounce off of his shield and prevent him from going from the vault, which is probably the better option. Now he has free reign to walk right through as the coverage from Spiker is above. Surf still punishes Dash. Spotted by Spiker, who was maybe a bit delayed 2 seconds earlier, and Dash walks in and is almost able to get that plant down, but we don't want to engage in revisionist history here. Baby Shark and Spiker waiting for somebody on the side of SR to make a move, and they will not. I look like Spoit backing away. Yokai drone from Canadian being piloted. Sees Spiker, and he'll wait out the time, knock him out of his position. A curve has just been thrown, a curveball now thrown at Wildcard as they continue to fire away. Baby Shark desperately searching for Canadian, also wanting Spoit to appear from his position. He thought he had it. Spiker now all by himself, and Spoit will pick up 2 big kills.
The 2v2. I was a little confused by the shield play of Dash, if I'm being honest. Didn't seem to have much help. He did have Spiker up above, who did get the trade, but I mean, that was not a guaranteed trade by any means.
Very intrigued to see the very first round right now, and then what happens next, because if Shopify Rebellion come out banging on all cylinders, then maybe we just have an attacker-sided cafe. Not the case, at least for the very first kill. Spoit goes down with track stingers in hand. Dash will follow. That's 2 non-typically North American players killed first, as both of these teams do have some imports brought on over to provide more depth. Spiker drops on the side of Wildcard, and the advantage now for SR with just a little bit over a minute to go. What a shot that was by Rexon over towards Lumber, and Canadian is on the board. Out go the donuts, in comes the breadsticks, and it's Kansan on white stairs as the last man standing for Wildcard. Plenty of time for him to toil and tussle. Wildcard, I think it's safe to say, have been in the driver's seat for the majority, if not Cloud9 game that preceded this. Now it's Rexon, who is a terrific player, don't get me wrong, but 10 kills is really quite the tally. Spoit trying to make up for
They want for free. But right now, Shopify Rebellion still have a lot of players outside the building. They're working a lot of different angles.
Yeah, they're still using what gadgetry they have as Spoit dies. Canadian is very quick to the punch, and he sees multiple players doing a lot of damage, finds one. Wildcard reduced to just 2, Kansan and Spiker. Kansan has been alive in the final moments of a round an awful lot. He's been playing those safer roles as a defender. And I mean, we know what Kansan can do. We know what he can do on the realm. We know what he can do with a nitro cell. As down goes Surf, who was out on that white window repel. Still 2 remain for the Rebellion. Canadian finds a double kill. He's getting on the board, and Rexon, who had already
Quite quickly, there's still Spiker with Toxic Babes to stop any sort of fast push, but that is an option if Shopify choose to get down into reading quickly. That's a play coming out from the Warden.
Ooh.
Actually wins it. They 1v1's Canadian on the Blackbeard, and then Dash in sight. Another big pick.
Ambi, the only one on the board right now, looking for Baby Shark 2, and he outduels him. Rexon by his side, 21 kills.
So this might be news to them.
The drop will come in. There's a cam in place. Is that a Zoto canister slowing them down as Rexon will now play over towards the banister, finding one. Diffuser going down. He tries to relocate. They run out.
First one down below to get some footprints of some of the players on Shopify. Saw that they were in around back bar, got some information.
Because very few people end up with 6 assists. that is a hell of a tally, if I may use the pun. Ambi from above sledges out a win. Him and his teammate of Rexon currently at that point. One more kill for Kansan, and he, too, will join it. Dash spotted from above as Ambi is just lobbing bombs right now at this Wildcard team from above. Down goes Dash, and Shopify Rebellion.
Watching at the side of Shopify, never mind their Surf on the window. Makes a lot more sense. If he pushes too deep, that will be spotted. He's got to win that fight on the Surf.
Spiker almost went for more. He finds one, but that's it to be had. So the annoyances that will come out will be solely from the death mark in the pocket of Spoit.
Baby Shark taking a lot of pressure, not as free as he thought he was. Spoit was holding the angle, and he does get punished throwing the
Away at the layer right underneath them. Shopify Rebellion need to be more conscious of the time. That is the bigger issue here. A swing over towards the window as Spiker now squares up into a spot. Shot away at from Ambi, whose residency seems to be above the bomb site. Time running out. Diffuser needs to be walked in by Canadian, who will die at the hands of Dash, and that should be the round. Ambi tries as best as he could, but is down for the count. A rough game for him so far today. And if overtime does not happen, that will be all we see of him for the remaining minute plus of this matchup. Rexon accumulating kills. He'll find his second, and that'll be all she wrote for him as Bay takes him down, and Wildcard will trail by one number, but they've managed to take out the big raid boss, but there's usually backup. One of them is Ambi, but in this case, it's Spoit. He's looking for double digits as well. Now the two remaining players from Wildcard, backs against the wall, will try to hang on for the next 45 seconds.
They know positions too, at least approximately. Kansan here inside a bathroom. He's pushed up. He'll get caught on that Twitch drone now, going for a swing, but doesn't matter. Spoit's got his number, and Spiker's in a 1v4 for the game.
Flashed out of his mind, seeing white as Spoit breaks double digits, and now the four remaining players will all compete for the final kill.